You're working out every single day, eating less than ever, and yet the belly fat is still there, mocking you every time you look in the mirror. Most people are doing everything they were told to do, and it's still not working. In this video, we're going to break down exactly why and what you need to do differently starting today. Body. Let's start with the most common mistake that almost every beginner makes. You hit the gym, you jump on the treadmill, you run for 45 minutes, you sweat like crazy, and you feel like you've done something incredible. You go home, you eat a so-called healthy meal, and you expect the fat to just disappear. But it doesn't. And the frustrating part is, you keep repeating this same cycle week after week, month after month, wondering what you're doing wrong. Here's the truth nobody tells you at the start. Cardio alone will never get rid of belly fat permanently. Yes, you read that right. Cardio burns calories in the moment. But the moment you step off that treadmill, your body stops burning at that elevated rate almost immediately. It's called the afterburn effect, and with steady-state cardio, it is extremely minimal. Now here's where it gets interesting. Your belly fat is not just a fitness problem, it is a hormonal problem. And until you understand this, you will keep spinning your wheels no matter how hard you train or how little you eat. The main hormone responsible for belly fat storage is called cortisol. Cortisol is your body's primary stress hormone. And here is the shocking part. Excessive cardio, crash dieting, and poor sleep all spike cortisol levels dramatically. So the very things you are doing to lose belly fat are actually telling your body to store more of it, especially around your midsection. Your body is not broken. It is actually doing exactly what it was designed to do under stress, protect itself by holding onto fat reserves. Now let's talk about insulin. When you eat too many processed foods, sugary drinks, white bread, or even so-called healthy fruit juices, your blood sugar spikes rapidly. Your pancreas releases insulin to bring that sugar down. And whatever sugar is not used for immediate energy gets converted and stored directly as fat. And your belly is the first place it goes. This happens even if you are working out every single day. You simply cannot out-train a bad diet, no matter how motivated you are. But here is the part that most fitness channels will never tell you. The real secret to losing belly fat permanently is not just about eating less or moving more. The real secret to losing belly fat permanently is building muscle. And most people completely ignore this because they think muscle building and fat loss are two separate goals that cannot happen at the same time. That is one of the biggest lies in the fitness industry. Here is why muscle changes everything. Muscle tissue is metabolically active. This means that even when you are sitting on your couch, watching TV, or sleeping at night, your muscles are burning calories. The more muscle you have on your body, the higher your resting metabolic rate becomes. In simple terms, more muscle means your body becomes a fat-burning machine 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, not just during your workout. Let's put this into perspective with real numbers. 1 pound of muscle burns approximately 6 to 10 calories per day at rest. That might not sound like much, but if you add just 5 pounds of lean muscle to your body, you are burning an extra 50 to 70 calories every single day without doing anything extra. Over the course of a year, that adds up to thousands of extra calories burned, purely from the muscle you built. Now compare that to cardio. A 45-minute run might burn 300 calories in the moment. But the moment you stop running, the burning stops too. Muscle keeps working for you around the clock. This is why two people can eat the exact same diet, but the one with more muscle will always stay leaner with far less effort. And this brings us to the most important question of all. How do you actually build that muscle while losing belly fat at the same time? How do you actually build muscle while losing belly fat at the same time? This process has a name in the fitness world. It is called body recomposition. And while many so-called experts will tell you it is impossible, the science and real-world results say something completely different. Body recomposition is absolutely possible, especially if you fall into one of these 3 categories. Number 1, you are a beginner who has just started training. Number 2, you are someone who used to train but took a long break and is getting back into it. Number 3. You are carrying a significant amount of body fat, which gives your body plenty of stored energy to fuel muscle growth while simultaneously losing fat. If you fall into any of these categories, your body is in the perfect position to do both at the same time. Now here is how it actually works. When you are in a slight calorie deficit, meaning you are eating just a little less than your body needs, your body looks for alternative fuel sources. If you are lifting weights and giving your muscles a strong enough signal to grow, your body will turn to your stored fat for the energy it needs to build and repair that muscle. This is the sweet spot. This is where the magic happens. Your fat literally becomes the fuel that builds your muscle. But the key word here is slight deficit. If you crash diet and cut your calories too aggressively, your body panics, cortisol spikes, and instead of burning fat for fuel, it starts breaking down your muscle tissue for energy. This is called a catabolic state, and it is the worst place you can be if your goal is body recomposition. So now you know that a slight calorie deficit is the key, but how do you figure out exactly what that number looks like for your body? This is where most people make another critical mistake. They either guess randomly, cut way too many calories, or follow some generic online calculator that gives them a completely wrong number for their specific body and lifestyle. Here is the correct way to do it. First, you need to find your TDE, your total daily energy expenditure. This is the total number of calories your body burns in a complete day, including your workouts, your daily movement, your job, everything. There are reliable TDE calculators online where you input your age, weight, height, and activity level, and they give you a solid starting estimate. Once you have that number, you do not slash it in half like most crash diets tell you to. Instead, you subtract just 200 to 300 calories from your TDE. That is it. That small reduction is enough to put your body in a fat-burning mode without triggering the stress response that destroys muscle and spikes cortisol. It is a deficit small enough that your body stays calm, keeps building muscle, and quietly burns through your fat reserves day after day. Now here is something even more important than the calorie number itself. The quality of those calories matters enormously. Because two people can eat the exact same number of calories and get completely different results based entirely on where those calories are coming from. And this is the part that transforms average results into remarkable ones. The single most important nutrient for body recomposition is something most people are not eating nearly enough of every single day. The single most important nutrient for body recomposition is protein. And the vast majority of people, even those who think they are eating healthy, are severely under-eating protein every single day. This one mistake alone is responsible for millions of people failing to build muscle and losing belly fat despite months of hard work in the gym. Here is why protein is so powerful. When you lift weights, you are creating tiny micro-tears in your muscle fibers. Protein is the raw material your body uses to repair those tears and build the muscle back stronger and bigger than before. Without enough protein, your body simply does not have the building blocks it needs, and all that hard work in the gym goes to waste. You break the muscle down, but never fully rebuild it. But protein does something else that most people do not know about. It has the highest thermic effect of any macronutrient. This means your body actually burns more calories just digesting protein compared to carbohydrates or fats. Roughly 25 to 30% of the calories in protein are burned off during the digestion process itself. So if you eat 100 calories worth of protein, your body only actually absorbs around 70 to 75 of those calories. This gives protein a massive fat loss advantage on top of its muscle-building benefits. So how much protein do you actually need? The research is very clear on this. If your goal is body recomposition, building muscle while losing belly fat, you need to eat between 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of your body weight every single day. So if you weigh 180 pounds, you are aiming for between 126 to 180 grams of protein daily. Now that you know how much protein you need, the next question is, Where should that protein actually come from? Because not all protein sources are created equal, and choosing the right ones will make a massive difference in both your muscle building results and your belly fat loss at the same time. The best protein sources for body recomposition are what nutritionists call complete proteins. These are proteins that contain all 9 essential amino acids your body cannot produce on its own. At the top of this list, you have chicken breast, which is lean, affordable, and incredibly versatile. A single 100-gram serving gives you around 31 grams of pure protein with very minimal fat. Next, you have eggs, which are arguably the most perfect muscle-building food on the planet. The biological value of egg protein is higher than almost every other food source, meaning your body absorbs and utilizes it more efficiently. For those in the UK and USA, canned tuna and salmon are also outstanding choices. They are cheap, convenient, high in protein, and salmon gives you the added bonus of omega-3 fatty acids, which actively help reduce inflammation and support fat loss. Greek yogurt is another underrated powerhouse. A single cup can give you 15 to 20 grams of protein while also supporting your gut health. If you are someone who struggles to hit your daily protein target through whole foods alone, a good quality whey protein supplement can bridge that gap effectively. But always remember, supplements are meant to supplement a solid diet, never replace it. Real food should always come first. Now that your nutrition is dialed in, it is time to talk about the training side of body recomposition, because what you do in the gym is just as important as what you eat in the kitchen. And if you are still spending most of your gym time on the treadmill wondering why the belly fat is not moving, this part is going to completely change how you approach your workouts forever. The foundation of any successful body recomposition program is resistance training. This means lifting weights. And before anyone skips past this thinking it is only for people who want to look like a bodybuilder, stop right there. Resistance training is for everyone, regardless of your age, your current fitness level, or your body type. It is the single most effective tool for reshaping your body, burning fat, and building the kind of lean muscle that keeps you healthy for decades. Here is what your training week should look like as a beginner or intermediate level person targeting body recomposition. You should be hitting the weights 3 to 4 times per week. Each session should focus on compound movements. These are exercises that work multiple muscle groups at the same time. Compound movements give you the biggest return on your time and effort because they stimulate the most muscle fibers, burn the most calories, and trigger the greatest hormonal response for both fat loss and muscle growth simultaneously. The king of all compound movements is the squat. Nothing builds lower body strength, burns calories, and triggers muscle-building hormones like squats. Right behind it you have the deadlift, the bench press, the overhead press, and the barbell or dumbbell row. These 5 movements alone, performed consistently and progressively, will transform your physique completely. Now let us talk about something called progressive overload, because without this principle, your results will plateau completely no matter how consistently you show up to the gym. This is the secret weapon that separates people who transform their bodies from people who work out for years and look exactly the same. Progressive overload simply means that you must continually challenge your muscles by gradually increasing the demand you place on them over time. Your muscles are incredibly smart and adaptive. The moment they get comfortable with a weight or a number of repetitions, they stop growing. They have no reason to change because the challenge is no longer there. Your body only builds new muscle when it is forced to, when it is pushed beyond what it is already capable of handling. Here is how you apply progressive overload practically in your workouts. Every single week, you should be trying to either lift slightly more weight than the week before, perform 1 or 2 more repetitions with the same weight, or complete the same workout in slightly less time. Even the smallest increase counts. Going from lifting 40 pounds to 42.5 pounds on a dumbbell curl is progressive overload. Adding 1 extra rep to your squat set is progressive overload. These tiny incremental improvements compound over weeks and months into absolutely dramatic physical changes. Most beginners make the mistake of going to the gym and lifting the exact same weights for the exact same reps every single session for months on end. They wonder why their body never changes. Now you know exactly why. Your muscles need a reason to grow, and progressive overload is that reason. Track your lifts every single session in a notebook or your phone, because what gets measured gets improved. You have made it to the most important part of this entire video, because all the training and nutrition knowledge in the world means absolutely nothing without the two factors we are about to cover. These are the most overlooked and underestimated elements of body recomposition, and ignoring them will silently destroy every single result you are working so hard for in the gym. The first one is sleep. Most people in the UK and USA are chronically sleep deprived, getting 5 to 6 hours a night and thinking that is perfectly fine. It is not. Here is what actually happens when you sleep. Your body releases growth hormone, the most powerful muscle-building and fat-burning hormone your body produces naturally. The majority of this growth hormone is released during deep sleep. If you are cutting your sleep short, you are literally cutting off your body's natural ability to build muscle and burn fat at the source. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep every single night without negotiation. The second factor is consistency. Not motivation, consistency. Motivation will come and go. There will be days you do not feel like training, days your diet slips, days you feel like you are not making progress. Those days are completely normal, and they happen to everyone, including the most elite athletes on the planet. What separates the people who transform their bodies from the people who quit is simply showing up anyway. Body recomposition is not a 30-day challenge. It is a lifestyle. But here is the most beautiful truth. Once you build the habit, once the muscle starts growing and the belly fat starts disappearing, you will never want to go back. The results become your motivation. If this video helped you, smash that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below telling me your biggest fitness struggle. I read every single one.